Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Bryan with another sort of knife review for you. Today we have the summary of my 3 months of experience with the Spyderco Shaman. My original review of this is one of my most viewed videos, and there's been a big change to this knife since I did the review, so I thought I should cover that. I should talk about it, say what my relationship has been with this knife for 3 months. It has been up and down, I will admit that. Mostly up, one big down. And that's part of the reason why I'm redoing this. When I reviewed this, I bought it for the full boat, street price. Just bought it off Blade HQ. And it was $149, and I loved it. I mean, loved it. At that price, it was maybe my favorite knife I've ever reviewed. I really adored this thing. There's so many things to love about it. Those haven't gone away. But what has gone away is that $149 price. Now it is $182 with the Spyderpocalypse, as I call it, as I stumble over my own name. The Spyderpocalypse price increases. This one went up a lot. Some only went up like 5, 6, 7, 8%, even 10%. That was fine. This from $149 to $182. I did the math. Not gonna lie, I had to look and remember how to calculate percentages on the internet. I had to Google it, but I got it right. 22% this one went up. It went up a ton. It was a huge price increase. I reviewed this thing 3 months ago. Well, I got it 3 months ago. I reviewed it like 2.5 months ago, whatever. But I got it 3 months ago. I really loved it. As I said, I was salivating for the sprint runs of this. I thought about even getting one. Now they're out available with a DLC coated blades, even more expensive. That's like $195. If you want it totally blacked out. And I even thought about getting one of those. I was so excited about everything about it. I love this knife, and I didn't expect to like it as much when I got it. Honestly, I was a hardcore Manix guy, but I also really like my Native 5, and I really like the compression lock in my PM2. I thought, oh, this combine things, maybe it'll be great, but I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. Didn't think it would replace any of my Manixes, and it has. I just traded off my Manix to M4 because I use this more, and I just didn't need two knives in that similar size, so I got rid of it. And it may get rid of another one. I've got a Manix 2 backlock I'm thinking about getting rid of because I just use this more, and they were just similar, and I like it that much. I still do love it that much, but that price increase pissed me off so much that I didn't carry it for like 3 weeks. I just was mad. I don't know why. I just had a fit like a petulant little child that Spyderco was never going to notice, and I thought, this will learn them. I'm going to leave this in my case and not carry it for a few weeks. And then I kind of missed it, and I started bringing it out again, and I still do really love it. And I didn't get hurt by the price increases. I got in at the old price, and I shouldn't care, I guess, now, even though this is used, well used. I could probably sell it for what I have in it anytime I wanted to. But yeah, I was just angry, and now my anger has subsided a little bit. We'll get to that more in the conclusion. But now I thought it'd be time to give a little summary of my previous review. I will link to that down below. If you want all the real detailed stats on this and everything, go watch that review. Don't watch this one. So now I'm just kind of reviewing it as a $182 knife instead of a $150 knife. And does it hold up? Well, still holds up on the looks. I still think this is a great looking knife that pictures don't do justice of it. I love the way that the Contour G10 looks. It's really well done. Some people complain about sharp edges. As I said in my previous review, I didn't really feel any, and if anything, they've gotten smoother just from using it. Some people complain because this backspacer doesn't match up. I don't care. I don't spend my time rubbing my hand against backspacers. I just like the shape of it. It does look like a really overgrown Native 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the Native 5 is also a very attractive knife. The quality is still really good. I think it has $182 build quality. It still feels right for that money. It felt like a bargain build quality at $150, but now it feels about right for $182. Yeah, still have the same, of course, the new ones. They didn't change anything about it. They just jacked the price up. So still S30V blade, as I said, Contour G10. I love some of the little things I still do that are really nice. The stonewash blade, which I like that. If this is meant to be a hard working, hard use knife, and I think stonewash hides scratches. I've used the hell out of this thing. Just today, I was out in my yard with it, and the snow finally melted, and I went out. I had to cut back some. I have a rose bush that no matter what time of year it is, it still grows, and it was kind of getting in the way when I got out of the car. I had to go back and hack that back with it. There's no scratches. I'm cutting through rosebush stuff and some other little sticky weed things. Cut through, and it's all fine. Not a mark on it. Yeah, I like the way the stonewash is, and I really like. I think the nicest touch on this, I mentioned in the previous review, they stonewashed the pocket clip too, which I think is just cool. I like my stuff visible on my knife to match. I'm OCD that way, and I love that the pocket clip matches the blade. I just think that's really, really cool. So I still love the looks of it. I still think the quality is worth it. I still love probably what my favorite thing about it. It was my favorite thing when I reviewed it, and it's become more my favorite thing about it, is the ergonomics on this thing are just outstanding. No matter where you carry it, that contour G10 handle, when you want to choke up, it's just freaking perfect. I think I said in my Man X2 backlock, I did compare this to the Man X2 backlock. I think I called the ergonomics even or close to even. After using them more, I like the Shaman better. The more time I've gotten with it, the more it's just kind of become accustomed to my hand. And I think it's just because I use this more. But yeah, it's a great knife in the hand. It's so comfortable. I mean, Spyderco always knocks it out of the park with that, and this is one of their best ones they've done in a really long time. I really like it. About the only thing I can think of that I like as much, and I'm not even positive about that, though, is the Man X2 XL that I just got, but that's because it's just a Man X2 but bigger. So usually in your hand, I have really long fingers, so usually the bigger the better to me. This is the only thing I can think of that I like in the hand as much as that. And this one, even the pocket clip bothers me just a tick the more and more I use it, where this pocket clip doesn't bother me a bit. So I'd still give the edge to this. That's the only thing that I can really think of that's really close to it, but not quite. I just love the ergonomics of it. They've really grown on me. Blade is still great for hard use stuff. Like I said, I was out today hacking at sticks and cleaning up some like fallen down limbs. Not limbs. I wouldn't use this for limbs, but sticks and stuff that were too long to fit in the trash bin. So little stuff like thickness of my pinky, hacked right through them with this. It was fine. Not a mark on the blade. I did strop it when I got back in and cleaned it up because I knew it was going to go in pictures. But as you can see, no scratches. It's still a great working blade. Still nothing wrong with that. Another thing that really impressed me in the original review that still does, the carry is still outstanding for a knife this size. This is a good size knife. What is that? I'm going to measure it down here off camera where you guys can't see it. We're looking at 3.6 inch blade. I had to remember. And, it's not terribly light. Again, I don't want to do a whole lot of stats here, but we'll do this. You can watch my other review for that. I almost feel like this is clickbait to get you to watch my other review, but... Oh, hold on. I'm going to recenter it there. But the weight, if I recall, is 5.24. I was right. I didn't even have to put you guys through all that. I remembered it. I thought it was about 5 1/4. So it's not light, but it's not terribly heavy. But the amazing thing, this thing's party trick is just where they put the clip and the way they have it angled and all those nice contours. It disappears in your pocket. Like, it is, for a knife this size, yes, a fair amount sticks out. I will say in the previous review, I mentioned that I was going to put a deep carry pocket clip on it because I thought I had one that fit. It doesn't. This is a specific hole pattern. I even asked MXG Gear directly, are you guys going to make a Shaman clip? And they said, we don't currently have plans to. Hopefully they do. I kind of would like to have a deep carry clip, but this doesn't bother me too much because this knife is big enough and it carries well enough that, if I'm carrying a knife this big, I don't expect to completely conceal it. I like deep carry clips on stuff that's a little smaller than this, but stuff this size and up, whatever, it's fine. You're not trying to hide anything if you got a knife this big. But yeah, I love the way it carries. It's just fantastic, and these contours just make it. It's a little thing, but when you have it in your jeans pocket and you sit down, some knives feel great when you're walking around. There's not even that much sticking out, but just when you sit down, it's jabbing you. There's nothing in this thing that jabs you. It carries so small for what it is. Another great party trick of it. The deployment, it's a compression lock. I love the compression lock. I did finally tear this down after about a month's use, and I did my usual just treatment to it. I didn't think it needed it, but I polished the bushings. If you go back, I'll also link to that video. I'm going to link to a lot of videos in this down below. My knife maintenance video, I talk about polishing bronze bushings, which is another great thing about this. It runs on bushings instead of bearings. I like the feel of a bearing knife, but for really hard work use, it's probably better to have the bushings. They're easier to maintain and stuff. They're less likely to go bad. And this is a hard work knife, so it makes sense. Anywho, I polished the bushings, cleaned everything up, doused everything in alcohol. Didn't douse, but wiped everything down in alcohol, and then I put some nano oil in there. And this thing is so silky smooth now. It was smooth before, but now it's even better. A lot of people complain about the lock on this because that little thing sticks up. That little tab that pops up and it does invade your finger area. Same thing on the little native that does that. And a lot of people had fits about it, but it doesn't bother me a bit. I guess I've just used it enough now. I just know every compression lock is different. Every knife isn't going to act the same. I just push it. I don't know if you can see. I'm just grabbing it up higher, and it closes right down, even though I just hit my finger. Let's try that again and have me not hit my finger. Yeah, it works fine. You just get used to it, and it closes perfectly fine. Of course, now it's bouncing off because I didn't grab it right. But it closes perfectly fine once you get used to it, and it's not a big deal. It's great, and I don't have a problem with it at all. And even if you do totally screw up and just put your finger fully in there, all you do is, oh, magical. You just go like that, and it closes. So, not a big deal. I love the action on it. It is super smooth. It is very fall shutty. Very easy to flick open, obviously. All your usual Spidey flick tricks you can do with it. I love the deployment on it. So really, I still love everything I loved about it before. Just as much, and in a couple ways more. I love the ergonomics more than I did before. Because when I got angry and put it away for 3 weeks, and then when I drug it back out, I was like, oh God, this thing feels so good. When you're doing hardcore stuff, it really feels so good. And the harder you work with it, the better it feels, which is the sign of really, really good ergonomics, right? I mean, the harder you work, the better it feels. I think that's the way, that's what she said. I think that's just a way to tell if a knife's really good, is really work hard with it. A lot of knives feel good when they're just playing with them. This feels great when you're really beating on it. But here's the thing. Price increase made everybody mad. I feel like this is the poster child for the Spyderco price increases because it took the biggest hit. And it was a new model that everyone was super excited about. And then they added $33 to the price. So everyone, myself included, very upset, obviously. And then eventually they did come out with their excuse. They said that, Sal or Eric Lesser, I think it was Sal, one of them said in an interview, oh, well, we miscalculated what the production costs were going to be. They bragged that this knife was the culmination of 5 years of work. In 5 years, you didn't figure out it was going to cost that much to make it? I don't know. I love Spyderco. I trust them. I don't want to. I think maybe you had a really popular model you thought you could get more money for. So that still burns me a little bit, but it's still a great knife. The problem is now I'm not comparing it to the stuff I used to compare it to. Now I have to compare it to $175, $200 range knives. So now you're looking at it comparing against ZTs with carbon fiber handles. You're looking at Emerson's, Benchmades, like what the 940s that price, the Crooked River that everybody freaking loves, the Presidio. You're looking at titanium frame lock Kaisers. If you're looking at something big, for competition from themselves, Manix 2XL, you can get Manix 2XL in even better steel than the S30V for damn near close to the same price. So, yeah, it is, they've definitely put themselves into a new stratosphere. But all that negativity aside, yeah, I think it still hangs. I really do. It's that good. It is. Burns my butt that they put it out at a lower price and then raised it. Always going to. I'm sure they understand that, but it hangs at 182. It still hangs. I spent some time tonight on Blade HQ looking around, and Knife Center and some other places, and I was looking for knives between 175 and 200, and I was looking and looking and looking, and I'm like, yeah, nothing really grabs me as much as this does. So maybe they were right, okay? Maybe they were right. But I don't like the reasoning they gave. But other than that, yeah, maybe they were right. Maybe it is $182, especially for a hard use knife like this. Yeah, I guess if I'd have found something and I looked, I wanted to end this video with saying you should buy this instead. Couldn't find one to definitively say. I thought there was ones that you should consider instead, but I couldn't find one to definitively say at $182 this one is better. Couldn't do it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope it was worth your time. I just felt like with the price increase, I needed to amend my previously gushing video. I'm still gushing. I still love it. But now instead of it being almost a bargain at $149, now it's priced probably okay at $182. I begrudgingly admit. So I've been Bryan. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Have a good one.